I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, to give me the spirit to do this video. This lesson is going into having the balance between defending the gospel, okay, and talking much with a fool. And there's a balance in that we have to understand when we're dealing with these scoffers, because these scoffers are going to get more fiery, more hot, okay, and they're going to grow in number, and they're going to attack. So this is a way to deal with it, okay, as we move forward, so that you're not going crazy in your head over these scoffers. All right? The first scripture, Sirach chapter 22, verse 13. Talk not much with a fool, and go not to him that have no understanding. Beware of him, lest thou have trouble. Now first, to even perceive that he has no understanding, you have to deal with him, right? Which is why at the beginning of the verse it says, talk not much, meaning you're going to talk to him. But when you perceive that there's no knowledge and understanding in him, it says, beware of him, lest thou have trouble. And thou shalt never be defiled with his fooleries, man. Meaning it gets outrageous, man, what this guy is talking about. It gets so outrageous that it's pointless, you know? It says, depart from him, and thou shalt find rest. Rest from what? Rest from being pissed off, man. Okay? Because all he's going to do is piss you off, because that's his goal, man. Okay? They don't want to be edified. Now, when you do a video to edify the body and edify the hopeful elect on these individual guys or groups, that's one thing. But when you personally talk back and forth with them, you have to understand that balance. And that's why we're going into the scripture, all right? Let's start back from depart from him, and thou shalt find rest, and never be disquieted with madness. They will ruin your whole day, man. Okay? You be talking to them from 6 in the morning to 9 a.m., man, going back and forth, non-stop, man. And it becomes a circle, okay? It becomes a big circus that he has you in. Because at the end of the day, you've already rebuked him. You've already talked to this guy. And he keeps poking you and poking you and poking you, okay, with no logic, all right? So it says, and never be disquieted with madness. That's what the scripture is here for. For what? For that balance between defending the gospel and talking not much with a fool, okay? Now, I know it's tempting. It's tempting, okay? And at times you're going to do it when you shouldn't do it. But this is the scriptures giving you that understanding, all right? From there, let's go to Proverbs chapter 14, verse 7. Go from the presence, that's that depart that I read in the previous scripture, of a foolish man, when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. Right. You have to talk with him to even perceive it, right? That's why the last scripture said, talk not much, for you be disquieted with madness, man. Meaning, it comes to a point where you end up wasting your time, okay? And you could have done something more productive in the spirit, man. Satan's trying to wrap you up in bullshit. That's his job. That's why I say he's walking up and down on the earth when you read Job. To do what? To catch you in bullshit that don't matter, all right? From there, let's go to Philippians chapter 1, verse 17. But the other of love, you know, let's start at 16. The one preach Yahushua of contention, not sincerely, supposing to add affliction to my bonds. Verse 17. But the other of love, knowing that I am set for the defense of the gospel. For the defense of the gospel. So what we're going into is the balance of the defense of the gospel, okay, and talking much with a fool, and knowing when to pull the plug on that. That has a balance to it. Everything is about balance, man. Yahweh Shema Shah is about balance. So when you read the scriptures, the whole scriptures discuss that balance, man. There's always an other side to it. Okay, it's not just defending the gospel. There's an other side to that balance of that. Okay. All right. So let's go into the blue letter on the defense. Okay.
Strong's G 627. Apologia. Apologia.
Verbal defense. Speech and defense. Okay, you're defending the gospel. You're going back and forth. But let's go back to the first scripture. Talk not much with a fool, not much, meaning you're already defending it because you're talking. That's the defending the gospel. And go not to him that have understanding, beware of him, lest thou have trouble, and thou shalt never be defiled with his fooleries. Depart from him, and thou shalt find rest, and never be disquieted with madness. Okay, let's go back to the blue letter. Verbal defense, speech and defense, a reasoned statement or argument. Okay, but when somebody is just a straight fool, okay, and a mega scoffer, and it's obvious he's just being a total asshole, that's when you perceive, oh, I see what's going on here. Okay, he's going to consistently repeat the same stuff day after day, leave me a message, go in this video, leave a message, go in that video, leave a message, and it comes to the point where let that nigga be filthy, man, by himself. Okay, and if you do a video, that's different, but this is going into personal, going back and forth, the balance of that and understanding of that. Because when you do a video, everybody's edified. Okay, those far, those near, you know, the four corners of the earth. Okay, now let's go into the words of Yahushua out of his own mouth. Matthew chapter 23, verse 3. All therefore whatsoever they bid you, observe. This is Yahushua talking to disciples about who? The wicked of the Pharisees. All right, that observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. Meaning Yahushua knew that the disciples were going to run into him and have discourse with him. Okay? But why did he say observe and do? Okay? Because even though they were wicked, the Pharisees knew a lot of things that were correct that they were going to say. And that is what Yahushua was telling them to observe and do. But beware of the leaven of them. Now, when it comes to these straight up complete fools, they ain't saying nothing right. They're not saying one thing right, man. When they continue to poke and poke and poke and try to bait you into these back and forth on the comment board. They want attention, man. It's nothing but a show to them. Okay? So you rebuke them, you do your videos, okay? You might comment back and forth at first, but once you perceive, you talk not much with a fool. And that's how you balance the defense of the gospel, okay, and the other part of it, of the scriptures, okay? From there, let's go to Proverbs chapter 26, starting at verse 4. Answer not a fool according to his foolery, lest thou be also like unto him. Right, man, they'll make you start being foolish. You have to catch yourself, man. You type in stuff and you read it, you're like, nah, I need to stop. Because they're baiting you into that foolery. That's why the scripture says this. Verse 5. Answer a fool according to his foolery, lest he be wise in his own conceit. Right, man. So you answer, now he think he got something, man, because you going back and forth with this guy. Now in his mind, he got it. Yeah, I got to go back and forth, man. I've been doing this all week. I got him. And then they get bored, and then they might go away for a couple of days, and then they'll purposely look for you just to say something, just to get a reaction. Okay? So that you can participate in their foolery. That's what they're doing, man. And that's the balance of, I've already defended the gospel on this guy. Okay? I've already talked back and forth. Okay? Now, when it comes to the videos of defending the gospel, it's different. I'm only referring to the back and forth. And even the videos have a certain timetable, you know. But hey, according to the Spirit, you know, the Spirit only make a video and to edify. Hey, do that and edify. But remember the balance of this. Okay? From there, let's go to Proverbs 26, verse 11. As a dog returning to his vomit, so a fool returning to his foolery. Okay? Right. And then he going to continue to repeat that foolery on you to get you to bite. To get you to bite, man. Okay? So balance, understanding, man. Defend the gospel. We're supposed to defend the gospel. But we also supposed to be wise amongst these wolves as well. And understanding their tactics. Okay? There's a time to speak and there's a time to be quiet. And we have to understand that within defending the gospel, okay, and cutting certain people off of talking to them personally. You know. Last scripture, Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. Right? So we're going to be reproving. And we reprove openly. Okay? So that others may fear, right? But after you reprove them, especially if you're doing it on a personal level, going back and forth, okay? there's a time where you have to cut it off, okay, and let the filthy be filthy, okay, because these guys don't want to be edified, and you see that once you perceive that there's no knowledge in them. That this ain't about edification, and a lot of times you already know it ain't because you already talked to the guy many damn times. So that's just the wise way of dealing with it within the scriptures, man. That's why these scriptures are here for that reason, man, to get us in balance in everything, man, and the whole scope of this truth, so that we have an understanding, okay? So I hope you brothers were edified with that. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Kadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, Alchemists, doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.